Attorneys, why do you hate managing your finances?
Welcome to the next episode of the 6-Minute Obsession, where we do a little pain relief for the legal profession. My name is Dr. Mark Kosman. I'm here with Rob Graff. Rob, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about, as I said, finances. We went to law school so that you can get a job that pays an excellent salary, but all you seem to worry about is making ends meet.
So what specifically we're going to cover in this episode today, Rob?
What we're going to cover is understanding where the pressure comes from to make these ends meet. It's understanding that your bills may not be an issue, that your pressure to make your ends meet can be either external or internal, and that it's important to, in the end, honor how you want to live your life and what you want.
Excellent. Well, okay. I don't think anybody loves bills unless you're the guy that's sending them out to somebody. The receiving end is generally not the pleasant end of the stick. So I think we probably have universal audience buy-in here on your topic here, Rob. So tell me a little bit here about why you're saying that the bills may not be the issue, though. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me. I got a pile of bills in front of me. I'm opening them up. They're making me unhappy. I think it's the bills.
And that's true. A lot of us look at it and say it's an external thing. These bills have to come. These bills have to be paid. But you see some people in this world, and they never worry about their bills. They'll sit for months. They'll get second notices. Not everybody feels the pressure from bills that we feel.
That's where your bankruptcy colleagues come in, right?
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that there is another choice. We don't have to sit and worry about bills all the time. They consume a lot of people's lives. They do. When I know mine, they all come at one time of the month, and I think I'm doing great, and then all the bills come and I have to pay them. But I accept it as a reality that, and so I don't sit and worry that, hey, the bills are now going to come and now I have to pay them all off. Other people, they live on credit. They completely just live on credit. And now I'm not a credit person. I am not a finance person. I don't want to suggest just live off of credit cards and float a lot of balances. But we don't have to sit and have that angst and have that worry that consumes us at all times of our lives to pay off our bills. As I said, we got jobs that we're supposed to enjoy, that we're supposed to be making a good salary, and now the stress of the bills is just another added injury to insult. Let's put it that way. It's another pain point that we experience. Loans.
Yeah.
I see people complain about loans all the time. That is a huge thing nowadays. All the student loans people have to pay off. I see people worrying about them so much. It's something that you can't change. Mm-hmm. You have the bills in your life. So what's your relationship with the bills? Where is that pressure really coming from? Are the bill collectors hammering you? Well, maybe they are. But at the same time, if they're not, if you pay your bills on time every month, it's an internal stress. It's an internal stress that you're creating in yourself because you feel that obligation to pay. So what is the better way to look at it?
So this has sounded pretty familiar to me, Rob. So I mean, again, it's kind of like we've talked about with the time clock itself, the 6-minute increments, the billable hour side of the equation, where I'm trying to make some money. Now this is the outflow, and so I'm saying, yes, it's the bills, but you're saying, no, it's really my reaction to the bills. It's my response to the bills. It's my either failure to plan or successful planning of how I'm going to cope with the bills that really is what I need to focus on. Am I hearing you right?
Exactly. To make it pretty short, a lot of times when you're reacting to something negatively, it's your stuff. It's not the other person's stuff. It's your stuff that's making you react.
In the end, the bill's not really out to get me, right? I mean, it's a neutral part of the landscape. I've got to figure out how to work around it, get it done, take care of it, or not, and file for bankruptcy, whichever.
Not recommending that either.
Okay. Well, your colleagues might get they might get more billable hours out of it. So you know.
Low overhead, yeah.
Exactly. Now, so tell me a little bit more about the internal-external kind of thing here. I mean, so you're saying the pressure I can be perceiving it from within or from without. I mean, help me out here a little bit. What are we talking about?
I think the best way to describe it is, I hate to focus on saying that it's the bills, they're the pressure. But let's look at it this way. You have a family, and you're the bill payer. You're the person who's in charge of the finances in your family. You see what comes in, you see what goes out. Is the pressure coming because you say, I need to take care of my family, I need to really make sure that we have a house to live in, that we have food, that we have a car, that we have gas, all those things? Or is it your family on the outside saying you better pay this stuff. And how so? Is it internal? Yeah, because you're reacting to how your family's coming after you saying you got to pay your bills. How are you going to make ends meet? Or is it you sitting there saying, how am I going to make ends meet? We have so many bills to pay. The external pressure, the environment that's around you, could be even not just family, it could be friends. You see friends going on vacations and taking trips and doing all these other things, and you think, well, why can't I do that? Why do they seem to not have these issues with finances? Or you see friends saying, oh, I have so many bills to pay. And a lot of times, as I mentioned before, misery loves company. So you may be associating with people that are stressed about their bills because that's what you feel stressed about. And you create this tension with each other, this external pressure on each other that there's never enough money, there's never enough things to go around because there's never enough fun to have because we're paying all these bills all the time. That could be the external or the internal.
Yeah, I know. I find for myself it's this mental battle of whether I'm perceiving that I'm in control of what's happening or whether I'm letting myself go into that victim kind of mode a little bit. And I have to remind myself sometimes that the only reason the bills exist is because I want stuff, right? I mean, I'm making choices that generate bills. I'm making decisions that, and there was a reason that I did that, and there was some kind of payoff, whether it's a student loan, whether it's a credit card bill, whether it's a car payment. I mean, I got a car out of it, right? I mean, I have to remember that I want the car.
I remember hearing a story actually from a car dealership one time where a doctor had his mother co-sign on his house because he kept spending and spending and spending, and then didn't make enough money to actually pay his bills. And he was very stressed and he hated it. But he's the one that keeps spending and spending and spending, even though he's got all these other bills to pay.
A little disconnect there between the spending part and the paying part.
And that might be a little out of my realm. It might be a little into yours a little bit.
Might be more of a psychological issue, yeah.
But in the coaching vein of that, it would be about setting up a strategy for him and really saying, hey, you know, where is the pressure to pay these bills, or where's the pressure to spend coming from? Is it an internal thing saying, I'm not going to be happy unless I spend this money? Or is it something where you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and say, I need to keep spending this money, so I'm a doctor. I have to keep looking like I'm leading this doctor life.
Right, exactly. I have to drive the fancy car, otherwise I don't look successful, that kind of thing. And do you want to really buy into that value system or not? I mean, you know, because it's really easy for your brain to start telling you, I have to do this, as opposed to I'm choosing to do this, or I want to do this, or I want to have this kind of look, you know. So.
And as you said, it's a matter of choice at that point. So if you say something along the lines of, well, my definition of success is driving the car that I want to drive.
Right,
then
you know, the Lexus, the BMW, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's the choice you're making there. And then by saying, all right, that's my success, then everything else diverges from that, where now you can say, all right, I have this bill to pay, but I'm accepting because that's the choice I made. And you feel that you made that choice. And so your definition of success drove that. So it's really about creating that paradigm for yourself where you're making these choices and you're feeling confident in the choices you make.
Well, and I think that's the key thing there, is that if I can get myself back into that mindset of I am the chooser, I am the one making the choice, I'm the one making the decisions, a sense of control comes with that, rather than I'm the one who's just receiving bills and I have to stress about the money end of it. I mean, you know, and I guess this is getting to your third point there. I mean, you talk about that we need to honor what we want. I mean, so let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, what do you mean by honoring what we want, and why is that important here?
It's important because by honoring who we are and what we want from life, we can say, all right, I want X, Y, and Z, and then you choose those things, and you can rationalize and say, all right, I accept that this is what I want. This is my definition, well, if it's a definition of success, going back to that, but this is what I want from life. This is how I want to live. These finances, these issues with the finances, including bills that you have to pay each month, student loans, are a part of that. And so you accept that everybody who's in your position is most likely doing this, and most people likely struggling with this as well, and saying, well, I choose to live this way because I want to live this way, and because of that, these are the steps that I have to take in order to live the way I want. And so you're accepting, for lack of a better term, forgiving the bills and saying it's not something that is stressing me. It's something that I'm okay with because it's how I got to where I want to be.
Right. I mean, at its most ludicrous, right? I mean, I'm sitting there looking at an electric bill and saying, my brain says I got to pay the electric bill, but I could remind myself, no, I want to pay the electric bill because I happen to have a good relationship with electricity. I enjoy the ability to do things. I don't have to, though. I could let the lights go out. I just choose not to. So wanting it and honoring what you want, good stuff. So this is great stuff. I mean, so none of us loves bills, like I said, but we create them because of stuff we want. So we covered that the bills themselves may not be the issue. So you want to understand that and that the pressure, you could be letting it come from within, or you could be letting it come from without. And it's important to kind of look at the difference and see if you can regain that sense of control. And then by really getting in touch with what you want, which is kind of what helped to generate the bills in the first place, again, you can kind of regain that sense of control. So this is all stuff that plays into some of the coaching work you do with your attorney colleagues. If people want to get some coaching with you, what should they do?
They can contact me via the website. They can shoot me an email at robert@graffstandard.com. There's a comment section or a sign-up section. You get a free 30-minute session with me if you sign up and to receive notices about my blogs and these videos.
Excellent. So make sure you subscribe there right here below the post if you're watching on graphstandard.com. Get notifications of the upcoming episodes of 6 Minute Obsession. Take advantage of Rob's generous offer to give you 30 minutes consultation time just to figure out how he can ease some of the pain of the legal profession. And see you again for the next episode of the 6 Minute Obsession.
Have a good one.